Thanks, Tyler. Appreciate it. Good to be here. Really looking forward to first time on campus. So, how big is it? How big is this campus?
Huge.
Huh?
Not very big.
Not
55 acres, about 10,000 students.
about 10,000 students? Yeah. Good looking bookstore. But so help me. What's with the hammocks? No, come on. Was the speed pitch, who won the speed pitch? Was it a hammock business?
There was another guy that had a hammock, though.
Oh, is that right? Tell me about the hammock. Golly, I've never seen so many hammocks.
The outdoor nation thing. We are trying to prove that we are one of the most outdoorsy schools there is.
Which we are.
Oh, is that right? So you're an outdoorsy school?
We're the most outdoorsy school.
Most outdoorsy school.
We're winning.
You're winning against? Who, pray tell, are you winning against?
A lot of other schools.
Oh, a lot of other, like,
All
hey,
other schools.
Snow College is going down. Whoa. I'm serious. We're walking along, we're going to the bookstore. Janet sees the hammock. That's the last I see of her. I go in and explore the bookstore. She's checking out. She loved the hammocks. All right. So before we get started, we're going to go with the competition. I like competitions. Okay? We're going to go with the... I'm picking out 3 bearded guys. You guys are voting. Oh no, you were first on my list, big fella. You let her go last week, huh? Watch out. And we got contestant number 1 right here, hat back. He forgot to shave this morning. Grizzly Adams is involved. All right. Then we're going to go with, you're going to have to help me here. We're going to go with Metro Beards. We got Metro Beard 1 and Metro Beard 2. Which one do you guys want to see in the competition to advance on for the greatest beard? Okay, I want to hear it for, let me hear it for number 1, Metro Beard 1. Metro Beard 2. Yeah. All the guys. Okay, Metro Beard 1 is in. Okay, and then we're going to go between, okay, Metro, we got Big Beard, we got Grizz, and then we got, I don't know, he's kind of, I'm liking, see, he's got it going, but there's a little bit of grooming. He's got the Metro guy working. So we got, let's call him...
It's outdoorsy beard.
Yeah.
Farmer's market beard.
Hey, I'm thinking this guy, I saw him in the hammock. So you're going to go for the outdoors, right? So you got the beard working, you got hammock in the background, and Snow College. Okay, so hammock beard. All right, so... we're going to have the vote. Needless to say, okay, we're going to go in order. 1, 2, 3. Save your votes. I see, hey, I know you're disappointed in not being involved. You're out of here if you vote more than once. You're probably voting for all of them. Oh, yeah. Yeah, because he's going to probably take you to the woodshed if you don't vote for him. Metro guy, you're just going to kind of walk along, and the girls that don't go for him, you're hoping to pick up for the homecoming, right? And then this guy, I'm telling you, he's the future of the school. He is the future of the school. All right, you ready? Got it all figured out? You know what you're going to do? Okay. All of you voting for Mr. Grizz. Let's hear it. Yeah, hey, this guy's an accountant. How can you tell who won? Let's count the votes. Hey, that guy's going to be successful. He keeps track of the... Okay, so you got that, Jan? You're going to tell us who the winner is. Oh, yeah. Janet told me not to do anything like this because she doesn't... It makes her nervous. So, anyway, we'll make her nervous because she's going to pick the winner. Okay. Okay, ready? Beer 2, Metro Beard. Four guys with big voices. All right. Sitting over quietly, blending in. And the girls, don't look at it. Okay. The future of SUU. Number 3. I think you've got a chance. Okay, Jan. Who's the winner?
1.
Number 1? All right. Hey, see me afterwards. I got a lifesaver for you. All right? I don't know. Wait a minute. What's in this pocket? Uh-oh. Oh, no. I'm throwing it to you. There you go. So, real quick. So what was your business that you won in the speed pitch 90 seconds?
I had like a support for children with cancer in a way.
For what?
Children with cancer, like a support system for them.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. So is it a real business, or is it just, it was just something that you came up with on the elevator pitch kind of thing? Well, congratulations. Sounds like it might have some future. Are you gonna pursue it, or?
We'll see.
We'll see.
Still looking at ideas.
So do you guys have a business plan competition or any kind of competitions other than the speed pitch? What's your system here for?
So they have one in the community that students are allowed to participate in, where it's like a full business plan competition. You can like,
Okay.
so you sit down and yeah.
Okay. So how many of you are going to participate in that?
I don't know if many people know that.
Oh. Yeah, and you're not telling them either, are you? Good prize? They have good prize money?
Yeah, I can't remember how much it is.
Uh-huh.
I went over there.
Uh-huh.
It's a total of 10,000 with the top prize.
Yeah. So is this just it's a 1-hour credit, you meet once a week for an hour and listen to guys talk about beards and stuff? Yeah. Is that how it works? Okay. So how many of you would consider yourselves entrepreneurs? Okay. Decent amount. How many of you would consider yourselves not entrepreneurs? All right. And why? I like... So what's the difference between an entrepreneur and a non-entrepreneur? Because I'm trying to figure this out. I'm trying to figure out if I'm an entrepreneur or not. And if I'm not, if I figure out, if you give the right answer, we're out of here. I'm not an entrepreneur, and we just go home. What do you think?
I think like if you have good ideas that could turn into viable businesses or be profitable.
Okay. Excellent. Good definition. And I appreciate that. I think that nailed it right there. What?
I think it actually has a lot to do with like attitude and what you actually feel comfortable doing. With people that have like a personality of not feeling like putting themselves out there, and they don't feel comfortable with that. A lot of them will avoid pursuing something that will.
Gotcha. Okay. Excellent. So it has to do with personality. It has to do with ideas that maybe would create some business. I like it. Okay. What do you got for me?
I would say a desire or a mentality to make something happen and then making it happen.
So have the desire, get a plan, and then execute on the plan. Okay?
I say work ethic.
Work ethic. Okay, I like that. Go ahead.
There's usually a certain amount of risk involved that someone who's not an entrepreneur would not be willing to engage in on their own.
Okay, I'm going to my pocket. That's a good sign. Where is that? No, I'm coming back to that. Go ahead.
I feel like an entrepreneur has to have leadership abilities.
Oh.
I mean, for me, I don't have that. I'm more of a follower, so I don't see myself as an entrepreneur because I follow other people.
Oh, okay. So you're more of a follower, but entrepreneurs are generally viewed as leaders. Hey, remind me about when I'm off there, just raise your hand and say, hey, tell me about where leadership kind of comes into this whole thing. Okay? Go.
I think being able to understand your priorities, because you could have a great work ethic and be a great leader, but if you don't really put starting your own business as a priority, then something happens.
Uh-huh. Excellent. Yeah? And back here.
In a way, you gotta be innovative, you gotta have ideas, an idea. You can't just I am going to start a food or something.
Uh-huh.
You gotta have an idea of what we should put, if it's great, what
Disruptor. Yeah, innovation. I like it. Good. Go.
Kind of in vain with what she just said, I see an entrepreneur as somebody who just simply hears a complaint or a problem, sees a problem or a complaint, and then sees a way to fix it, and then goes to work to get it fixed. I see that as pretty ordinary talent. It's just going to work to get it fixed.
Exactly. No question about it. Identifying, and we'll take one more, and then
That's what I was going to say. Just someone that finds the solution to a problem.
sees a problem, sees a solution, solves it, and hopefully makes some money doing it. Is generally money kind of comes into play. Okay. Well, let me tell you what I've observed a little bit with regard to entrepreneurs, and I'll circle back around and tell you why I'm not sure I'm an entrepreneur. But the observation is right here. Entrepreneurs got the risk gene in spades. They flippin' don't comprehend the downside and what the risk associated with starting a business is, and consequently they go in blind. And then all the other things that you're talking about with regard to going after something, having work ethic, having, leadership, having all the things that you were talking about, doesn't happen unless they have this risk gene in spades. In other words, they're willing to go out and take mega risks with regard to solving problems and doing something there. So that's what I've seen. That's what I've seen. And the reason I don't think I'm I'm not an entrepreneur per se. And the reason is because I am not, generally speaking, a risk taker. But in the field of natural resources and in the profession of law that I practiced, I needed to recognize what was happening with people. And if you want to find the ultimate risk takers, Go into the oil and gas business and get to know somebody that drills oil and gas exploration wells. Those guys are flipping nuts. They're crazy. You know how many of those are successful? Like 1 in 15. 1 to 15 chance. And oh, by the way, typical well, $4 or $5 million. And you know what it's worth after you're not 1 in 15? Zippo. That's serious risk-taking, folks. So I deal with some of those guys because I'm in the natural gas, oil and gas transactional kind of thing. So I kind of get to see mega risk takers. Right? And so with that experience, I'm gathering a pretty good composite of what entrepreneurs kind of look like. So when somebody comes with an idea, there's a decent chance if they've got good work ethic and they have some good planning, they got a good accountant, you know, they put everything together, they're going to cut the risk substantially. And even if it doesn't go, a lot of times they're going to land on their feet and there's going to be some money left over and there's going to be something there. But I'm not that way. Jan can tell you, I'm pretty conservative with regard to moving forward. So how did I get involved with regard to that? Tyler told you that, yeah, I got a finance degree at BYU and went off and to be honest with you, my background, I'm not a lot different than probably any of you. I'm just, you know, I'm down the road 35, 40 years. That's basically the difference between me and you. When I was in school, hey, I was a good student. I went to class. But, and I was decently smart. I mean, I wasn't off the charts, but I was, you know, I was okay. And I performed. But when I was a junior in college, I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I was, you know, kicked the can. So I figured graduate school, and it was either an MBA or go to law school. And you know why I went to law school? Because MBA was kind of getting, or business was kind of getting a little boring kind of thing. And I had no background, nothing going for me. My family, no lawyers in the family, no judges, no background with regard to that. Kind of sounded good. I was a good student, took the LSAT, bam, and we're on our road. So that's, you know, I'm no different than you. I bet you, deep down, probably there's a lot of you that flippin' don't know what you're going to do, where you're going to go, and what's going to happen. Put me in that boat. I was there, and you know what? It's not a bad place to be. It's okay. You don't have to have your life mapped out yet. It's all right. You know? Have good work ethic. Hey, be a good student. If you're a good student, you know what? You're going to have opportunities. Good things are going to happen. It's good. It's fine. It'll work for you. But that's me. I'm you 35 years down the road, but I am her. I'm back there. I'm not a risk taker. Probably I had leadership. I learned. How many of you guys are from small communities? Yeah, me. Same. Okay. How many of you participated in sports in high school? That's me. That's where I learned the lessons of life. Bouncing balls around, chasing people and trying to tackle them and racing them around a track. That's where I learned the lessons of life and still apply them today. So it's not bad. That's not a bad place to be. But that's what I'm saying is, I'm you. I'm you. I just went down the road. Get my law degree, go into practice. I don't know anybody, so write this down. Track this. Find somebody that is a mentor. And that mentor, you can interact with them like this and talk to them on a daily basis, or you know what, you can use and be a distant mentor and just kind of follow them. I want to talk to you about some guy that, you know, kind of, I think was interesting to me, and oh, by the way, he died years before I was born. But saw some stuff I wanted to kind of understand about him, and so did some studying and followed that. Hey, find somebody. So I found somebody. When I graduated from law school, I went to a company called Marathon Oil Company. Big oil company back east, but not so much in the west. And while I was there, I was in their land department. I was counsel for their land department, so I was doing legal work. But identified a guy named Reed Bitter. And Bitter was the exploration manager, and Bitter just had it together. Everything that Bitter was about, I just wanted to be. The guy had, he had perspective, had a great family life. He was active in the community, active in church, great golfer, just had everything together. And he was a good leader. Everybody wanted to be in his section, in his division, because Bitter was a good guy. And so I got to know him, played some golf with him, but followed him and really learned a lot about business and life from Bitter. Find somebody. Find a good guy. Find somebody that you see yourself being in 25, 30, 40 years. It's not bad. Kind of learn from what they did. Kind of try to figure it out. Pick their brain a little bit. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. It's good stuff to do. So, Tyler said, okay, so I'm a lawyer and I don't take risks. So how in the heck do I get involved and become an entrepreneur and talk to you today? Well, I had a client, and the client was entrepreneurship. You can work your buns off, everything can go, and you know what? You might not make it. Little bit of luck isn't going to hurt anybody. This guy had a lot of luck. Kind of came his way, but he was a really hard worker. Really hard worker, real humble. So no education. I don't know if he graduated from high school. Might have, might not have. Had a drinking problem that about killed him. Just kind of wandered around, but he worked hard, and so he was a field guy and worked in a place and for a company, McMurray Oil, and they got involved in a place and they knew nothing. I'm telling you, I know oil and gas. McMurray's had no business discovering the largest gas field in the continental United States back in the 1980s. Okay? But they did. And guess what happens when you do that? Big risk, big rewards. Lot of money. So money flows in. Joe, the guy that I was talking about that was my client, got involved. And he threw a little bit of his money early on, and so he had a little bit of equity, and then he also worked pretty hard, so he got what they call overrides. So all the production that was coming out, he got a little bit of it. So anyway, the company sells for, I don't know, in the billion range, right in there. And so Joe comes out, and he goes from field guy to rich guy, really rich guy. So he gets involved with an engineer who was there, and they have some money, and they decide that they're going to figure out how to treat coal bed methane water. And it was a big puzzle. There was a lot of water. When you produce coal bed methane, you produce a ton of water, and something has to happen to it because it's not that good. It's not usable. It's not potable. And so consequently, they had some ideas about what to do with regard to that, but they didn't know the technology, so they started looking. He's a client of mine, so they come in and they're asking me as many business questions as they are legal questions. But I got involved with regard to them and helping them and actually mentoring them through this process. Well, Luck 2, lightning strikes twice because they find the technology. It was a countercurrent ion exchange. It was called the Higgins loop, and it was used in the heavy waters that were produced when they built the original atomic bomb. And the technology went on the shelf, and it was sitting there. And so they are looking around, and somebody says, hey, you ought to look at the Higgins loop. That technology probably would work here. Pull it off the shelf. We license that, and it is literally the answer to producing these waters and treating them. So the business grows. Joe is not capable of running a business. He's a good guy. He's a great guy. Very kind. Good man. No, it's not happening. The engineer, he didn't have any business background. A lot of times engineers are really practical and problem solvers, but this guy really wasn't. They kind of got crosswise. So they came, their group, they had a small group of equity owners, and they came and they said, Bob, I know you've got a law practice, but would you mind coming and running this business for us? And oh, by the way, you know, I had to shut down my practice, so that was kind of a risk, but Jan knows it wasn't a risk because I knew what I was doing, and I knew the business, and I knew it was like shooting carp in a barrel. So it was not risky at all. But they asked me to do it, and they said, oh, by the way, build this company up, and we want to sell it. So come in, build it, sell it. So I did that, and I did it in 2 years. So I came in, became the CEO, invested, got an equity ownership in that particular venture, and we sold it in the 2-year period. And so that was back in 2008. And that's my introduction into the world of entrepreneurship. So we sell it. It's a 9-figure transaction. We're done, right? Now, because Joe takes out the lion's share of the money that comes into this thing, and he says, hey, Bob, let's go do this again and again and again and again. So that's what we do. And so we've had some good ones, had some not so good ones. It's a trickier proposition, and that's where I appreciate where risk comes into play. Really does. So that's how I got involved, and I'm here to tell you today, my risk genes haven't changed. I don't like taking risky propositions. I don't like it. And there's some things that actually, and I'm going to give you one item that I want you to know I think is a critical part, no matter whether you're an entrepreneur or whether you're not. A key to success that I've seen that you guys can utilize no matter where you go. 4-letter word. Give. Simple as that. Give. And let me tell you what I'm talking about there. First of all, give yourself a chance. If you had the same feelings that I had if I were sitting in this class when I was your age, they were ones of, I'm not sure. I'm not sure who I am. I'm not sure what I can do. I'm not sure. I think I'm a good guy. I think I'm decently. I don't know. I really don't know. Give yourself a chance. Real quick. They did a study. A couple of studies I'm going to talk about. Study. So scientists get this barracuda, right? And they are literally engineered. They're, fish saltwater fish, and they're engineered, and all they do is swim around and eat other fish. That's it. That's their life. That's what they're geared to do. So they get a barracuda, and they put it in a kind of a long aquarium type of thing where it's not, it's kind of there in a long horizontal thing. Barracuda swings back, forth, back, forth. So then they take a little mackerel, throw it in. Barracuda swims down, turns around, sees the mackerel. Man, what is he born to do? Eat. Man, he attacks, mackerel's gone. So they throw the mackerel, do this little study. Well, then what they do is they put a glass plate, right? They put this little thing, they put a glass plate, they put a mackerel in there, and so the barracuda swims down, turns around, sees the mackerel, doesn't see the old glass plate, swims into it, bam, hits his nose. Turns around, swims back, because that's all he does. He swims around, turns around, sees the mackerel, boom, hits. And so they do that for several days, and the barracuda keeps running into it for a period of time. After a while, the barracuda turns, sees the mackerel, swims, and has learned. And as soon as he gets right to where the glass is, swerves. Turns around, gets excited, sees the mackerel, remembers he's not supposed to, turns around. Okay? Ultimately, he's conditioned, right? So then they take the plate out, barracuda goes, swims, sees the mackerel, hits that place, turns. Mackerel, not the smartest fish in the sea, swims a little past, swims, hits, mackerel's on that side, mackerel gets eaten. Right? But the condition that I want to go to is the conditioning that the mackerel had. Give yourself a chance. See, you were born to succeed. I was born to succeed. Everybody's born to succeed. But life puts up glass plates. And you know what? A lot of times you're told you can't do something. A lot of times you question. You internally question, well, am I worthy? Am I good? Can I do this? That's the glass plate. And you hit your head and you hit your head and you get conditioned. You're born to succeed and conditioned to fail. Hey, don't do that. When you look in the mirror, see somebody that really has the opportunity, whether what you've been dealt. I mean, whether you're a leader or not a leader. Whether you're smart or not smart. Whether whatever. You don't give up on yourself. Right? Give yourself a chance. Never give up. Never give up, especially on yourself. But never give up on your dreams. Never give up on where you're going, where you want to go, what you want to do. Now, I want you to know something. Never giving up is not the same as failing. Look, never give up, but be ready to change your course. Be ready to make alterations. As life deals you some challenges, be ready to make an alteration. I mean, if you have a business idea and you're entrepreneuring it and going out, and it's going to fail, and you don't want it to fail, hey, Rich, again, Christensen, who I know, ultimate entrepreneur, I mean, this guy is, but you got to be able to fail and then make an alteration and learn from that. And don't fail in life and give up and just sit and, I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to try anymore. No, that's not it. You change your course. You change your course a little bit. Maybe entrepreneurship at that point in time but you want to be an entrepreneur, isn't right for you. Guess what? Go get a job. Learn how to do something. Keep questioning. Keep looking for solutions to problems, but go get a flipping job. Come on. That's not failing. That's altering your course. Learn how to do something, and then you know what? Maybe you're going to learn in whatever you're doing that there's a problem that needs solving. And see, you're still in the game. You're still trying. So then you take a look at that. And oh, by the way, you've learned a couple of things from your first go around, and so you can make adjustments so that now you're going to be moving into, and then go after it again. Hey, guess what? Maybe you just find out that you weren't an entrepreneur, and having that job is pretty good, so you climb the corporate ladder. And you become successful doing that. Why? Because you didn't give up. You didn't quit on yourself. Give back more than you take. Trust me. You do that, you're going to be successful. They pay you $10 an hour, give them 12. Give them 12 of effort. You know? Teacher asks you to learn something, learn it and a little more. Give back more than you take. If you do that, guess what? Everything's going to happen. Now I'm going to go into this guy. So I'm thinking about this whole thing. Entrepreneurship, taking care of Jan and the kids. I'm thinking money is kind of a good thing. So I decide I ought to make some money. I ought to go do that. So if you want to make a little money, who would be a good guy to kind of research and check out? Anybody any ideas? Huh? Buffett? JV. Good idea though. Yeah, but I'm going to go with that. You know what? Buffett. Why? Because he's flipping wealthy, right? He's one of the most wealthy guys on the planet. I didn't settle for Buffett. I want to learn about the richest guy ever. Ain't Buffett. And you get into that area, and you know, somebody's going to richest guy in the world. You're going to get a lot of deviations, because how do you gauge that? I mean, monarchs. I mean, Genghis Khan. He's on a few of the lists as the richest guy. No, really. There's a guy, Manny Musa or something. He was 1300s or whatever, owned, you know, took over half the world or whatever. So those guys go in. So I'm going with the traditional. Ever heard of John D. Rockefeller? Okay. Yeah. John D., recognized in a lot of circles, richest guy ever. From an industrial, you know, modern template. John D. Buffett's good. Bill Gates, you know. They say Buffett's a little behind Gates, but whatever. Go. Who? Pablo falls into that gray area. No, I mean, and seriously, that is not to be, there's a lot of gray area guys out there, you know, seriously, and have been wealthy, and yeah, forget them though. John D. Rockefeller, his background and what drew him to me, he's an oil and gas guy. Started out in the food business and gets rolling along with regard to that. Decently successful, and then he gets the oil and gas business. Back then, oil for lamps and stuff, you know where they got it? Whales. Yeah, you got her. Yeah, movies. Whatever. Anyway, whale oil. And that's what they're doing. So they're killing all the whales and making, you know, all the mothers feel bad and stuff. But that's where they got the oil. And then they'd refine the oil and make it into oil for lamps, etc., because we don't have, you know, the technology we do now. Well, then somebody punches a hole and they drill and they get this hydrocarbons and oil. And you know what? It works. And so whales now have a chance. And anyway, oil, because of its energy potential, becomes it. I mean, it is everything. Well, John D. Rockefeller figures it out. So he invests with another guy, and they buy a refinery, one of the first and largest refineries. And so he starts doing that. But John D. Rockefeller figures it out, so he starts taking over the transportation side of it, the exploration side of it, the refining side of it, the marketing side of it, and bah. Anyway, so this guy is literally on fire. And he's making money like it's going out of style, big time. So he becomes pretty wealthy. In the meantime, he's trying to figure this out. And guess what? There's another guy who he does what I do. He looks and he wants to figure out how to do it. So his mentor was another guy. And he actually ends up number 2 on the list. And who would that be? Anybody? Andrew Carnegie. Andrew Carnegie is like 30 or 40 years older than him. And Andrew Carnegie, and I got to get this, yeah. Andrew Carnegie in 1889 writes The Gospel of Wealth, right? And in that, he tells about, once you've made some money, what do you do with it? What's your responsibility, etc.? And guess what he says? 4-letter word. Give. He says, you know, when you're successful, you got to give back. You got to give. So Rockefeller in 1904 is interviewed, and they said, and somebody asked him, he said, how'd you get all your money? Rockefeller said, God gave me my money. God did it. So everybody just goes nuts because they're jealous and everything, and they say, what? You can't say that. Because they thought that what he was saying was that God preferred him over you and me and everybody else. And he favored him, so God gave him all this money. That's what the interpretation was. 1905, he comes out and says, no. I got to clarify. That's wrong. I was given the opportunity and a gift to make money. And if I don't give back my money, God will take my money away from me. And so this guy literally is working his buns off, making all this money and then giving it away. That's what he did. So anyway, that's where I modeled and wanted to go. Real quick, the other thing about it is they have done studies, and this is why you guys ought to give. And whether it's money or talent or opportunity, is they did research. People who give away and give money make more money. It's a proven fact. You give, you will make more money. To the tune of, they did a big study of giving, came back, everything's the same. Take 2 different people, one gives $100, he is going to make $375 more per $100 than the guy that has the same education, the same job, the same everything. And the reason for that, real quick, to tie it up, is because when you give a lot of times, and I don't know if you guys have felt this, I certainly have, the giver's high. Yeah. It makes you happy. And when you're happy, you're more productive, you're a better person, and you tend to be more successful. So, anyway, I've got to quit. Sorry.
Thank you so much for coming.